So talking about what I was actually saying, that reaching a consensus it might and it might not. Reason being that, well, you will see that of recent, the like of Abubakar Saraki, Tambua, and the, Bala Mohammed, and this man,
Nelson Wiki.
No, about let's leave those ones. Those in the northern part have actually been moving around.
Hassan Ayada too.
Hassan Ayada too. But in their moving around, you will discover that the 6-time contender of this seat is not in the game. And there's also the southern, part of the, asking for zoning. So if consensus will be possible, what will be the agreement? Will it be to the north or to the east? Talking about, the cultural or the zoning part. And going by it, Peter Obi has an heavy throwback. He has a heavy support from his side of people. So that's why I say it might and it might not.
But presently, Peter Obi has not even shown interest as regards the presidency. But the major problem the country is having is the issue of consensus was neither written in the constitutions, but it was just actually brought up by this party. And don't forget, like I said, if PDP is going to wrestle power down for APC, APC is ready to give all power to the South. Now, PDP is not ready to give power to the South, considering the fact that we've already have the taste of this northern in power. That's the reason when I asked, do you think the consensus will metamorphose with the PDP?
Well, that was why I also said that, it might work and it might not work.
Okay, in what sense?
Okay, if the consensus actually, at the end of all the games and everything, goes to the north, it might not be in their favor. Well, depending on who the thing might be. And there's always a better game with the Northerners. They know how to play their games, despite there are political differences. But if it will be thrown to the south part, where will you throw? And don't forget of recent now, Udom Emmanuel, the Akwa Ibom State governor, also made his declaration known for running for presidency. So in the south like that, we already have maybe about 2 or 3 people there. But don't also forget that in the southwest, we have this Dele Momodu of Ovation magazine. So reaching a consensus might, to me, might be somewhat difficult for PDP because over the years, also don't forget that in the southern part, we also have Ayim Pius Ayim, the former Senate president, who has also declared his intention on this.
Even the first person to declare his intention.
On this particular game. So the question is the consensus. Where will it go to? The north or the south?
Now, if peradventure this thing, it's down to you to answer that question, whether the consensus will go to the north or the south. Okay. Now, you see, one thing about the political structures of this country is it has either been the north, north. Let me use the word north. Okay. Because we only had a taste of power with Obasanjo in the west. Likewise, we have the interim of Ernest Shoneko. Then it has always been north. Now we have Jonathan already break the chain. Now the southwest are actually clamoring the one's presidency. Out of all these governors, PDP is parading. Which of them has the sufficient votes throughout the country that can actually deliver this mandate for them?
Well, all of them, virtually all of them have sufficient votes. Let me take from instance, Atiku Abubakar is a 6-time contender of that seat.
Even people might have, people might have been somehow weak on the fact that he's coming back again.
Exactly, that's my point. So taking a look at the north and what we have over the time, Tambua proved his proficiency as a speaker, running for governor, also won the same seat. So for now, I wouldn't pull a support for any of the northern governors yet, or northern contenders yet, because looking at it, Tambua and Bala Mohammed. Don't forget that Bala Mohammed has served as a minister of FCT at under Jonathan's regime. So all of them has one time or the other been at the governing head or knows things that are happening about presidency or close to presidency. So I wouldn't throw a weight at the back of any one of them yet. But as this game is going, I don't think the consensus, and I don't think, as I'm looking at the game, I'm not seeing Saraki in the game, though he's one of those, is like a major leader of the consensus because the way he has been carrying every one of them around. Don't forget that he led a team to Bauchi, he went to Abuja, and at the same time he went to Edo, Governor Obaseki, and you will find these four of them moving together, and virtually is the one leading them. So let's see how the game goes, because this is looking somehow tight, but the way it is, I don't believe Atiku is in the game, because over the time, maybe they will say, he has done this, let another person try it.
Perhaps people might be tired of him.
Exactly my point. People might be tired of him because over the years, 6 times now, and don't forget that while he has been running for presidency, some of these people are still serving governors or serving House of Rep members, serving senators, serving senators. He was one time a governor. From governor to senator, from senator being a senate president, he has been running. Maybe I don't think, looking at it, if the consensus would be maybe in favor of the North, I don't think Atiku Abubakar will. The consensus will favor Atiku Abubakar.
Okay, now let's. Yesterday, the likes of Saraki, the likes of Tambuwa, the likes of Bala Mohammed, Hassan Ayadatullah have visited Babangida, same as Godwin Obaseki of Edo State. And it seems that a game is coming on board, which Atiku Abubakar might not be part of this game. Do you think this fallen individual can bring down Atiku Abubakar?
Well, as I said earlier,
considering his antecedents in that party.
Well, I don't believe that. Don't forget, this is politics, and anything can happen at any point in time, and loyalty can change. Game can change at any particular point in time. So, considering his antecedent and as a vast person in the political system of the party, and who has stayed committed, maybe over the years. Who has stayed committed to the party over the years, despite the fact that there was at a point in time, cases that happened in the party. I think, and it is even glaring, it is audible to the deaf and visible to the blind, that there is a game coming up between Saraki, Bala Mohammed, Aminu Tambuwa, and Ayadatu, that these people are planning something at the expense of Atiku Abubakar.
Actually, they are planning a consensus candidate. They
are planning a consensus candidate. And if they are planning a consensus candidate, are they planning it as a consensus candidate from the North? Don't forget, if we are talking about consensus as a political party, it has to carry every edge, every zone alone. We still have some people that are down in the zone. If talking about the likes of Inyen Somwike, and we cannot dispute the fact that Inyen Somwike is a big, and a strong machinery for PDP. As any of their governorship seats that they have won, is a major key player in the game.
Okay, if you said Wike is a major player, he has played virtually all games for PDP. Don't forget, when we are talking of election in Nigeria, North is the major place where we get all these votes. You see a lot of millions of votes coming from
back to back.
Now, if PDP is trying on the consensus candidates and they want to make sure that this thing actually balance, do you think Wike as a body, do you think he can have a head on having this card on his own?
Well, he can, due to the fact that he has worked. And don't forget that he has he can virtually all the current serving PDP governors, he has actually worked for them, and he has actually, maybe secured their loyalty. And don't forget that Wike went to the National Assembly to meet with the members of the People's Democratic Party who are currently serving in the National Assembly, and set up a panel of maybe about 10 senior advocates of Nigeria for them, for litigation on any cases. So you can know that the man is actually, playing his game well and working up and down in making sure that, he has a backup from virtually all zones. For somebody to set up a panel is actually, you know, having a visibility study of the game. But don't forget that even in all this, consensus will not be possible without due consultation of some elders and leaders in the party. Which I have not seen majorly Wike doing that, which the likes of Bukola Saraki and his, you know, team has been doing.
Okay, we're discussing about this consensus of a team. Like I said, that different people's, yesterday, Wike as a body met with Ibrahim Babangida and General Abdulsalam Abubakar. And you know, Nigeria has been praising generals as a president. We have General Olusegun Obasanjo. Presently, General Muhammadu Buhari is the present president of these nations. The meeting with generals. Is there any correlation of meeting with generals before you go? Don't forget, Osibajo also did same thing. He met with Obasanjo. Is there something we don't know about meeting with generals before you launch your campaign?
Maybe we should say there is something called general consensus. Maybe the meetings of generals, maybe they have a meeting. Because looking at it, I think we can't dispute the fact that these so-called generals or these leaders that have served in one capacity or the other in the nation, even right from the military regime, they were able to, you know, effectively have a part in the military regime, and even, you know, the democratic regime, they have been a major key player. You can't talk about the military, the democratic regime, and talk
junta.
You know, and talk down the like of General Olusegun Obasanjo. The man is back to back over the years. Ibrahim Babangida is there. So I think doing this, they are trying to make themselves, you know, visible to the leaders, and one, seek from their wealth of wisdom and also play loyalty to them.
Let me say they are invisible forces.
Invisible forces controlling the political system.
Okay.
You can't dispute those factors.
You know, when Wike was actually declaring his ambition for the presidency, he said he is ready to tackle the securities and make sure that Nigerian people have a means of livelihood. Wike as a present governor, does it have any impact as regards the security challenge of the country? Why is it until you become a president, because you can make your voice known on the issue of security?
You see, Wike, like a person himself, is a rugged man. You know, he has proven that over the time. I remember a case where this Northerners invasion in Rivers State, that he almost even order that maybe they should start, you know, killing Northern. So he's trying to talk from an angle of the fact that, you know, but me, I don't believe that it is until you become president or become a grand commander of the federal armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria before you can do that. I think if he has proven that well in the state, he shouldn't be using it as a major thing to campaign. So someone who has not proven that so well in the state, and you know, the problem is all of these people blame the security challenges on the presidency. So I think his thought is that maybe when he gets there, he will be able to, you know, change them of affairs, ruling and having that. But I don't think that will be possible for him.
Okay, now, if these consensus candidates, which is being pulled by Bukola Saraki, Governor Aminu Tambuwal, Governor Bala Mohammed, doesn't have any ulterior motive, why are they sideline Atiku Abubakar?
This is politics. And
like you said, this is politics. Don't forget, if things go awry, it goes wrong, the party will fall.
The whole party system.
Yes. So they shouldn't neglect someone if they are calling for consensus. Okay, let me take you back to a memory lane. When APC is calling for consensus, President Muhammadu Buhari needs to call all the party stalwarts together. They had discussions, even at some expense when the president is on vacations. The caretaker chairman has to meet with the president. Okay, this is what we have to do.
Exactly.
Every hand, they need to bring in every hand. Although consensus, there will still be some aggrieved member. Exactly. But if there's no ulterior motive, why do you think Atiku, Tambuwal, and Bala is sideline Bukola Saraki, Tambuwal, Bala is sideline Atiku in this moving train of consensus candidates.
You see, and I think that is where the ruling party has a hedge over PDP. They know how to play their game very well when it comes to consensus. They know where even to the most or a good member of the party, they know how to call them to order, because they will actually consult people that that could talk to you and bring you back to your consciousness. And I think this is where PDP members or PDP stalwarts are missing it out so much, that you will see that there's a problem maybe in the south, and those in the north are not in agreement over it. So I think one other thing is that when there is too much body of knowledge, you cannot dispute the fact that one will be trying to be a boss over the other. So not carrying Atiku along in the consensus and that's why I'm saying it. That if we are saying consensus, taking an instance of APC now, when they were reaching consensus, virtually all the zones were carried along
in the process.
So there was no zone that was sidelined. So though we can't dispute the fact that some of them, majority,
we still have some aggrieved members.
We have some aggrieved members.
When it comes to consensus, you cannot satisfy everybody.
Exactly. So
you cannot satisfy people's wants. You will offend some people. But at least to some reasonable extent, there was a time they met with Atiku, but after then, all what we've been seeing on social media, Atiku has been left out of the game. So